presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are LA.
Just 5 games remaining, and it's going to be intense down the stretch. Drew Doughty said, quote, "We have a lot of guys that thrive under pressure situations. We have a lot of heart, and we believe in every single player in this room to get the job done." Live from Staples Center, downtown Los Angeles, it's the LA Kings hosting the Colorado Avalanche on Fox Sports West. Hey there, Kings fans. I'm Patrick O'Neill, sitting on the edge of my seat, literally, because that's what all these games have us doing. Every single game with so much at stake, and this one certainly tonight, no different. Well, there was a game this afternoon that would play a lot in what's going on with the Kings in the playoff chase. It is the Canucks at the Jets, and Winnipeg at home, surprisingly, right, was able to get a win here today. That was Lee Stempniak breaking a 2-2 tie, and then in the third, Stempniak again, and a 5-4 Winnipeg victory. So the Jets, they jump over the Kings again for the final playoff spot in the wild card. Then you see Calgary, who's playing Edmonton at the same time. The puck is dropping for the Kings here tonight versus the Avs. By the way, with Winnipeg winning, the Avalanche officially eliminated from the playoffs. But make no mistake, the wild card is insignificant to the LA Kings. They want to get in, clearly, but they're chasing down Vancouver and Calgary. Going to be a great one here tonight. Let's go inside and bring in Bob Miller and Jim Fox.
All right, Patrick, thank you very much. Another exciting night here at Staples Center and in the National Hockey League. Does that Winnipeg victory have any effect here on the Kings tonight?
You know what, Bob? We talk to players and coaches all the time. They say, keep it simple. We're going to keep it simple. Winnipeg wins, the Kings have to win.
And the Kings will jump ahead of them in that wild card spot. That's right. Now, the other night against Edmonton, an explosion of goals, 8 goals, and a couple of guys who hadn't scored goals in a while had to feel good. Drew Doughty, Dustin Brown both scored.
When I talked to Drew yesterday in practice, he talked about the goal scoring or lack thereof. He said he's more of a passer than a shooter, especially in power play situations. But if he does shoot, the Kings want to see him shoot more one-timers. With Dustin Brown, how many times this season have we said Dustin's been getting to loose pucks? He's been skating as well as we've seen him. He's had point-blank chances, but just not able to put it back. This morning, he talked about the irony. He's had great chances, not scored, but then last game, we go back, we look back. Guts and glory brought to you by Ram Trucks. First goal of the game, a big game, big goal, forecheck, no hesitation. And it's a bad angle, but it doesn't matter. It still counts. So Dustin Brown does get on the board. A little later on, Kopitar behind. Watch this with Doughty. Turn, change the point of attack, get the shot on net. May have been tipped there by Justin Williams, but the important thing for Drew Doughty there, it doesn't have to be the slap shot as long as you have traffic. Wait for the traffic, get the puck to the net.
Well, the Avalanche played last night in Anaheim. They won 4-2. They were still alive then. Now they've been eliminated, as you know. But what we do know about the Avalanche is they have a 37-year-old who is tied for the scoring lead, Jarome Iginla.
Very impressive. The word respect comes up to my mind when I think about Jarome Iginla. On the Avalanche, 3 things that we need to know about these guys. Iginla's the oldest player on the team. He leads the team in scoring as far as points. He's the only player in the NHL to do both of those on the same team. Ryan O'Reilly, last week's 3rd star of the week. He had 8 points in 4 games. Smart, great vision. He makes things happen. In goal, Varlamov. He was a Vezina Trophy finalist last year. A little drop-off this year, but he's still just outside the top 10 when you talk about save percentage. The team is known more for attack than it is for defense, and that's something the Avalanche will probably try to clean up. At the same time, the Avalanche, they're knocked out right now. Hopefully for the Kings, maybe that's a downer for them, and the Kings can get the 2.
Well, the Kings have defeated the Avalanche twice this year, both of those games in Colorado. The Kings have 4 straight wins over Colorado overall. Kings and the Avalanche are next. Kings Hockey is brought to you by Hyundai. Great deals on amazing cars are going on now at your Hyundai dealer. Visit buyhyundai.com today. And by Coke Zero. Enjoy everything.
We're moments away from puck drop here at Staples. The Kings and the Avalanche with 5 crucial games remaining. Need this one here tonight. Sean O'Donnell, Patrick O'Neill. I think of the clutch players in a game like this. Like a Justin Williams comes to mind in a big game.
He is one guy. Drew Downey had a quote saying there's players on this team that when the pressure gets high, when the big games, they know these guys will step up. They've done it. You don't win 2 cups in the last 3 years without having that. And one of the top guys on the list is Justin Williams. So these kind of games like that, he's moved up with the Gaborik Kopitar. Expect him to have a big one.
We'll see you right here after one. Inside we go to Jim Fox.
All right, guys, here we go again. It doesn't change. It keeps getting closer and tighter, and more important, as we get down near the end of the season, the Kings looking for another 2 points in goal. Semyon Varlamov, you see his record this season. Not too bad, not a big drop-off. Just enough as a team, though, to not be able to make the playoffs this year. With Jonathan Quick, he continues to play. Next 2 games for the Kings are back-to-back situation, but last time that happened on the last road trip, Jonathan Quick played both of those games. The officials for tonight's game: Graham Skillett will be joined by that man. That's Kelly Sutherland. They're the referees. They're on the orange armbands, and they're going to call most of the penalties. On the lines, Jay Shars, Brian Pancic. Huge game. Hall of Famer, play-by-play, Bob Miller.
All right, Jim, thank you very much. And as Jim said, here we go again as the puck comes down into the King zone and stopped there by Jonathan Quick. Kings with a win can move back ahead of Winnipeg into that wild card spot. So a lot on the line for the Kings tonight as they drive it down in deep, back behind the Colorado net. Picked up now by Gaborik. Gaborik gives it to Williams. His shot just wide. Played off the boards now by Kopitar. Kopitar back to the blue line to Doughty. Doughty shoots from there. It's blocked, and it is held in by the Kings. Kopitar down into the corner, but taken away now. And the Avalanche back out to center ice. Thrown in deep by Matt Duchene as the Avalanche want to get a line change. So do the Kings. Doughty in the King zone. Brings it up. He gets cut off there by Ryan O'Reilly. Muzzin with it now for the Kings. Muzzin moves it up ahead to King, Dwight King, along with Toffoli and Carter up front for the Kings. Avalanche have it, though, back in the Avalanche zone, and they clear it ahead out to center ice. Taken across the line, but offside on the play is O'Reilly.
Martinez standing up right there, missed the hit, but he forced the Avalanche offside. Hyundai keys to the game. Well, all season long it's been important, the breakout passes for the Kings. If they break out cleanly, they play fast, they win games. Possession cycles early, set a tone early, then that control factor. The Avalanche can fly as a group. They're very fast. They do have some injuries, but they can skate, so keep control of the tempo of this game.
Yeah, they have had a ton of injuries this year, and puck taken now by Jeff Carter, the Kings' leading goal scorer. Sends it up to center. Pass on the right wing side now, and a shot by Toffoli. A save and a rebound. King couldn't get a stick on it. Comes out to center ice. Avalanche with it. Back into the King zone and down the right side. Cody McLeod. McLeod put it back behind the net. Centered up the middle and taken away by the Kings. Back they come 3-on-2 to center ice. Down the right wing. Here's Toffoli. Moves it over. Tried to get it over to King, and it's broken up. Cleared back down into the King zone, and Matt Green back in to get it.
Well, that last breakout by the Kings is just a good back check by Tyler Toffoli. Toffoli ends up being on the offensive part. Daryl Sutter needs that, wants that, demands that from his forwards, and he gets that early on from the Toffoli line along with Carter and King. And again, that players talk about it, coaches talk about it. They say you play solid defense, you work hard to get the puck back, you're going to have attack chances. That happened twice on the last shift. The Kings with 2 good chances.
Now the Kings change up again. Here's Brown with it. Brown, his pass, picked up on the left side now and taken down in deep by Lewis. Threw it in front, but knocked away, and the Avalanche go for it. They try to clear, and they don't do it yet. Here's Brown again. Brown turns, shoots, and blocked into the corner. Chased down there and sent along the boards. Kings with it again. Lewis throws it around the boards, pinching down. The Kings trying to hold it in. As it comes along the boards, back to McNabb at the point. He sends it right side to Green. He shoots. It's deflected. And out of the reach there of Stoll as it comes up and out of play here in the first period. There's Patrick Waugh. Pretty good goalie in his day.
I think he was okay. I think he won a few games, a few cups, those types of things. And he's got the beard going. He's got a little gray there. Any coach would pick that up. And of course, now that they're eliminated, and before that, though, he said the focus is on developing good habits, building an identity. It's Patrick's second season as the head coach. He's going to finish that coming up, but they're still working on those growing pains type of things. So make sure you have the right things going, those good habits, and that identity thing is something every team wants to build. Sometimes it comes together real quick. sometimes you have to kind of shuffle the personnel around a little bit until you get to certain types of players. We talked about that guy in the open with Jerome McGinley. What a season he's having again. Recently just passing Jean Beliveau in the all-time point list.
Faceoff will be in the Avalanche zone. Patrick Roy, Coach of the Year in the NHL last year. Now a battle as the puck is poked free in the Avalanche zone and cleared out to center ice, and Jake Muzzin turns around. He throws it back toward the Avalanche line, picked up there by Clifford. Clifford over to Nolan. Nolan threw it in deep, loose puck taken by Muzzin. Muzzin checked there, and the Avalanche take it away, and back they come to center ice. Long lead pass, but across the line, and Tanguay would have been offside. They've got to touch up, and play continues as the Kings have it and bring it up to their own blue line. Flipped ahead and down the left side. Here's Gabrick racing in. Gabrick checked in the corner. Kings hold it in, though. Left side is Williams. Now gets help from Kopitar. Kopitar to the blue line, but a hard pass that got off the stick there of Reguer, and he had to go back to center to get it over to Martinez. Taken away and not cleared, held in by the Kings. Over now to Kopitar. He shoots, and just at the last second, a save there by Varlamov. Maybe he just saw it at the last second.
Yeah, I think Gabrick was coming in from the side, so everyone expected a pass, and Kopitar decides to shoot.
Down the left side, Iginla gets knocked into the boards, and the loose puck is still fought for. John Mitchell trying to clear it. It comes into Duchesne. He's got a man in front. It's Iginla. Now Duchesne again, leaned on there and picked up by the Avs again, and they hold it in the King zone. Back toward the blue line. Iginla's pass over, and a shot by Mitchell deflected and not cleared out by the Kings yet. We have no score here in the first period. Bob Miller along with Jim Fox, Patrick O'Neill, Sean O'Donnell. Puck comes up the middle, taken away by Duchesne, and Duchesne checked by Williams, and a penalty coming up against the Kings. Delayed call. In front, a pass and knocked away by Quick. Held in by the Avalanche again. Left side, Mitchell. Mitchell to the blue line. Shot by Tyson Barrie. Blocked. Picked up by Mitchell again. Now along the boards. Back to Barrie. Barrie had it tipped away back out to center ice. And back into the Avalanche zone. Delayed penalty coming up against the Kings. The Avalanche have the extra attacker on. And
we better watch out there. It might have been another penalty, though. Slash is going to be called.
Going to get two penalties here?
No, I think just the first one. Just a point of rule, Bob. On that last play when the puck came out of the zone there, Gabrick was forcing Barrie. He didn't gain control. If that puck bounces off into the net, it would still be disallowed. The opposition cannot force the puck into the net. Now here's the end of it right there. There's the hook that wasn't called. So the initial call against Justin Williams, it happened when the Kings had a turnover, and Williams was just trying to help out and get back. Stick into the hands with a little tap. First chance when the power play goes to the Avs.
Avalanche are 29th out of 30 teams on the power play in the NHL. King penalty killing, tied for 19th. Avalanche with it. Here's Tyson Barrie. Leads the team in assists. Gives it to Landeskog. He leads in power play goals. Back to Tyson Barrie. Barrie walks the line. Still has it left side. Shot from there. Saved by Quick on the shot by Iginla. And the Kings clear it out to center ice. Picked up now by Landeskog. He's got 8 power play goals on the year. Earlier in 2 games against the Kings, they're 0 for 6 on the power play. Landeskog shoots. Blocked and to the blue line. Held in by Barrie. Barrie held it in. And the Avalanche can't hang on to it. It's cleared now back into the Avalanche zone by Carter.
Nice collapse kind of as a group there. 4 guys really taking away the middle of the ice and standing up at the blue line. That's kind of nervous time for the opposition. You're worried about going offside, and the Kings use that against the Avalanche.
Minute 5 left to go in the King penalty. No score here in the first period. Puck taken by the Avalanche. Back to the blue line. They just found out earlier today they have been eliminated from the playoffs. Puck is driven behind the net. Quick himself drives it along the boards and all the way back into the Avalanche zone. Back in to get it now, Nick Holden, the player not drafted. He's in his 4th year in the NHL. Avalanche across the line into the King zone. Back to the blue line. Holden sends it down the left wing side. They set up the power play. Back to the blue line. It goes to Holden. Right side it goes now, and held in there by Zach Redmond. Gets it to Duchesne. Duchesne back across. Holden shoots wide. Rebound off the boards. Duchesne in front. Mitchell couldn't get a stick on it. Taken by Redmond. Back off on the right side. Hishin. Hishin moves it toward the corner, back to the blue line. And a shot from there is deflected. Looked like Dwight King got his stick on it.
Yep. Good job again by the Kings, Bob, just kind of keeping everything on the outside. Now, there was a couple attacks. Mitchell's had a couple. Just at the end there, this is before the late play is called. Get a stop here, guys. Here's Gaborik getting into position to force. Now, watch here. He doesn't have possession or control, and the puck ends up going out there. Delayed penalty's on. Keep in mind there's no goalie in the net. If that happened to have bounced in the net, once again, I just want to go for the point of rule. It would not have counted, even though he didn't have possession or control. It's one of those things where you can't force the puck into the net.
Now the puck cleared all the way back in the Avalanche zone, and the Kings are back at full strength. Out of the penalty box is Williams. One shot on that power play for the Avalanche. Now Holden drives it in deep. Or Tyson Barrie, around the boards. Barrie sent it off to the right side. Chased down into the corner now, and a check thrown there as the Avalanche Everberg got knocked down. He gets back up. He gets checked again there by Matt Green, and the puck taken by Kopitar. Kopitar to center. Feeds it left side. Driving down in deep is Brown. Wheels it in front, and a stop by Varlamov. Kings hold it in, though. Centering pass broken up, and Everberg trying to clear it. Can't do it yet. Now the Avs have a chance, and Tyson Barrie drives it off the boards into the Kings zone.
Another good sign for Dustin Brown. Wow, would the timing be just perfect for the Kings if he could get hot right now?
Yep.
All the chances he's had all season long, and again, he talked about it at the morning skate, where, you know what, he had good chances. They don't go in, then he has a bad angle shot. It goes in. It's just, you can't really, you've got to keep going to the net. He does it right there.
And just keep shooting. You never know what's going to happen. Here's King, but the Avalanche take it away in their own zone. Back up to center ice. Kings have 3 shots. The Avalanche 1. Puck comes deep in the Kings zone. Sent behind the net. Sent around now to the left point, but held in by Colorado. Picked up now by Landeskog. Landeskog forced all the way to the blue line. He sends it down in deep. Picked up by O'Reilly, and his pass in front just tipped off of the stick of Jan Hejda.
And there's Toffoli once again, back down low, doing the job. So a little extra focus on that situation. The Avalanche are on the Kings here, and Bob, the Kings have thrown the puck away a couple times right up the middle of the ice.
Kings with it now as they failed to clear it. They were a couple of feet away from the blue line, didn't get it out to center, and now it is cleared off the right wing boards, and an icing call against the Kings. It was cleared by Muzzin.
Time now for tonight's Mercedes-Benz Star Watch, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz dealers of Southern California. Iginla mentioned the open respect. How can you not respect this guy's career? Keeps doing it with Drew Doughty. Picked up a goal last game, though, although, Bob, they're still talking about whether Williams touched the goal. And Doughty would not get the goal. He would get the assist in that instance, but it's one of those things. Drew Doughty would hope to provide a little bit more offense. And if he keeps going here lately, looks like he's getting a little bit more feel for creating that angle to get shots on net.
The only player in the league that has more goals among active players than Iginla, Jaromir Jagr. Puck is cleared back down into the King zone. And he is also third among active players in points, Iginla, 1,223 points, and a very, very pleasant person to deal with.
No question. He's always ready to be helpful to anyone. It's interesting, when he tied Beliveau, he had to hear from an attendant in Vancouver when he passed Beliveau. He really doesn't look at those types of things. He says maybe at the end of the season, you get to the summer, you look back. But he did say he knows about Jean Beliveau, and he knows what that means.
Face-off will be in the Colorado zone. I think everybody knows about Jean Beliveau. Unfortunately passed away earlier this season. Puck is in deep and picked up by Tyson Barrie. Tyson Barrie's had an excellent year for the Avalanche. As I said, leads the team in assists. Puck comes around the boards left side and held in by the Kings again. We have no score. Bounces away from Lewis, but pinching down in is Green. Gets it back to the blue line. A shot from there is blocked, and back up to center ice. Avalanche clear it into the King zone off the glove of McNabb. Now over on the left wing side, taken by Brown. Brown played it off the boards back to himself. He tried to get in deep and chased it down, but it's tipped away, and Everberg has it now for the Avalanche, and they clear it out to center, and a hard check thrown there by Regehr.
Regehr catches McLeod. McLeod for a split second, head down. That's enough. Take the body.
Here's Kopitar down the right side to Williams. Shoots just wide. Rebound Kopitar again. Boy, he set up Williams perfectly there. Kopitar shoots. It's blocked against the left wing boards, and now taken by the Avalanche again and sent in deep by Nate Gennin.
You hear players talk about timing all the time. That was timing there with Kopitar and Williams. The move, the pass, perfectly timed right on the stick.
Martinez back in to get it. Up ahead to the blue line to Williams and shovels it out to center ice. Halfway through the first period, no score in the game, and we get an icing call here against the Avalanche.
A reminder, you can own a piece of history. The Emmy Award-winning series Championship Moments is back with never-seen-before bonus footage. Now available on DVD and Blu-ray. Visit LAKings.com/moments for more information.
In the Avalanche zone with no score in the game, the Kings win the draw to Doughty at the right point. Sends it over to Muzzin. He's got some room. He shoots, and a save, Varlamov. Puck comes back to King. King along the right wing boards. Threw it up in the air and down into the corner. King with it again. King driving, and we get a hand pass called here. And they're going to move the face-off outside the blue line. No score first period here at Staples Center. There's the big check by Reguer on McLeod.
Welcome back. I'm Patrick O'Neill. Time for the Cold Hard Facts, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. A lot of talk about how the Kings always make everybody nervous to get into the playoffs so late in the season. Look at the last 5 years. Kings have made it each of the last 5 years. Not as close as you might expect. 3 of those 5 years, they've done it with 4 games or 5 games left. But, of course, 2 and 1 you see in there. Jim Fox, I would not be surprised if that last game of the year versus the Sharks, if it comes down to that. Let's hope not, because it's just too much anxiety.
You got that right, but when the NHL put the schedule together, I'm sure they were thinking about that. They were thinking about San Jose and the Kings probably battling for a position against each other. Now, as we stand right now, it looks like a long shot for San Jose, but you can't count them out.
Well, you can. They're only 3 points behind the Kings starting play tonight. And the puck comes back across the blue line. They're playing Arizona tonight. San Jose, that final game will be a week from today, next Saturday at noon here at Staples Center. It's going to be an NBC telecast. Puck fired back behind the net. So this is our last home telecast of the year. Kings go away for 3, and we'll bring those games to you starting Monday in Vancouver. Shoveled ahead now. Kopitar got it back from Williams. Back in front. A backhander and a save in the glove of Varlamov. Not really a save. He just grabbed it out of midair.
Interesting entry there by the Kings because Kopitar realized he didn't have enough speed to back off the Avalanche. So watch right. He's going to cut. He has the puck. He's being caught. So he just gets it ahead there to the man, Williams, who has more speed. Williams has the drop pass. So another timing moment for those 2 players getting it right to get into the zone.
Avalanche chase it back behind their own net. Clear it to the blue line. A check thrown by Reguer again. And puck is taken by the Avalanche back in their own zone. He hit Alex Tanguay that time.
Maximize your skill set. And Robin Reguer is doing that here in the first.
Pass right side. Tanguay's pass intercepted there by Reguer and moves it up ahead to center ice.
2 big hits. You could call that last one kind of a block the way he went down to make sure he didn't get through.
Puck taken by Gabrick, and now over to Williams. Williams looking for room. Williams still with it. Played off the boards. Tried to get it to the blue line. It did get there finally, but Kopitar got back to get it. Now it comes out to center. And cleared by O'Reilly back down into the King zone. Taken now by McNabb as he hangs on. Sekera out of the game again tonight for the Kings. Into the zone, chased in by Clifford, batted away, and the Avalanche bring it back to their own blue line and up to center ice. Thrown deep into the King zone, and McNabb back in to get it. He played it over the right side, but it's taken away, and a shot knocked down there. Avalanche maintain control in the King zone, though. Here on the right side, a shot is saved by Quick, and he hangs on to it. A shot from the right side, Freddie Hamilton getting the chance. We'll be back right after this.
Last game that he's the Masterton Trophy nominee for the Kings. That goes to the player that exemplifies perseverance and dedication. And kind of joked about it. He said it's the 2nd time in his career he's been nominated. So it makes him a little old or elderly. At the same time, Bob, again, the start of the first period, you come out there, 2 solid hits, setting a tone for your own teammates, and then blocking shots. And he was talking about Alec Martinez the other day, the guy who's playing with right now as a partner, because that versatility factor, the ability to go from right to left, makes it easy on guys like Robin. They can stay at their normal position on the left side.
In the King zone, the face-off here comes to the Kings and brought up to center ice by Clifford. He had to kick it ahead, and then the Avalanche took it away. Across the line, sent in deep and into the Kings zone, picked up by McNabb. McNabb, nice pass up ahead, and the Kings break out. Pass on the left wing to Clifford. Clifford makes a nice move, jumps around, but getting back to break it up there with an equally nice move, Zach Redmond. Fired in and steered into the corner by Quick on the shot by Cody McLeod. Kings get it up the left side now, taken by Clifford again. Pope checked away from him. Avalanche with it. Right side. Everberg shoots. Saved by Quick, and he covers up. No rebound. And
A little contact there. Everberg going after Jonathan Quick's in the middle of the fray. That's not unusual, but there was a little bit of contact after the whistle, and that upset the Kings, and then the Avs, and then everyone. So try to figure it out. Look at Braden McNabb back at the last. Gets there, looks over his shoulder, and watch this one. Head up again, but this is backhand pass to the second option. The easier play, well, let's see, the more simple play is up the boards. He made a nice backhand pass right on the stick right there. There's the contact by McLeod. Then he shoves back against Stoll. But Braden McNabb back in the lineup second game, and we had a chance to watch the last game. I asked him, do you watch the other team? Do you watch your own team? He said he mostly watches his own guys, figure out the system. He says he understands the experience, context here where Daryl Sutter goes to more experienced guys. Now with injuries, he gets his chance again.
Kings trying to clear it out. They can't do it yet. Avalanche hold it in. Send it down the right wing side. Here is Hamilton trying to dig it out. And he is checked there and spun around, but the Avalanche get a stick on it. Now still hold it in the Kings zone. Thrown down in the right side. Hishin threw it in front, and they couldn't get a shot. Puck comes up the right side. Kings get to it. Back they come to center. On the right side, here in deep. Brown spins, and then lost the puck. Taken away by Tyson Barrie. Barrie back to center ice. Into the Kings zone. A lot different game than 2 nights ago here.
Well, it certainly is. The Avalanche, they have that counterattack quality to their game. You know how quick they are. You got to keep it safe.
Intercepted by Carter. Carter down the middle. He's got room. He shoots. Save. Rebound. Quick. King scores. The Kings. Dwight King got the rebound. And the Kings lead 1-0.
You talk about hitting a hole, watch this right here. It's not clean initially, not by the Kings, not by the Avs. Loose puck, watch this. No one can get to Jeff Carter. No, they have angles on him, but because he's so fast and he's so point blank, and once again, he knows that King's with him. And he knows that he's trailing. And you see Dwight King, he just realizes you drive, there's going to be something there. And there was a big, fat, juicy rebound. All that speed on counterattack starts with a turnover, finished by the speed and the putback. Kings lead 1-0.
King getting the goal. Carter now with 3 goals, 3 assists, 6 points in the last 6 games as he gets the assist. King with his 12th of the year makes it 1-0 Kings.
You just get that understanding from Jeff Carter. He knows he's going to create a good chance for himself, a quality chance right down the middle. But he also knows that if he doesn't score, someone else is going to have a chance too. That's assertive, a lot of skill, but good thinking right there.
Here now, Jerome McGinley into the Kings zone, tipped away from him, and the Kings get it back up to center ice. Time of the goal, 13:56. Avalanche come back. A shot is wide. Rebound off the boards and behind the net. Kings pick it up there. Is moved up the left side now from Doughty to Gabrick to center. Here's Kopitar. Kopitar across the line. Pulls up. Avalanche zone. Kopitar back to the blue line. Held in there by Green. Green shot is wide. Played in deep. Now taken by Williams to Gabrick. Here's Gabrick for the Kings. Gabrick all the way back to the blue line. Now gives it to Williams. Now down into Kopitar. Back to Williams. Williams makes a move. Comes in front, but his pass deflected up the middle and taken away there by Landeskog.
Williams wanted Kopitar on the give and go, and the goaltender did a good job there. Varlamov, great job with the stick flat paddle. Blocks the lane.
Puck into the King zone. Avalanche chase it down, but here's Matt Green behind the King net. Passes right up the middle. Kings back up to center. Pass over to Clifford. Clifford on the left wing. Clifford moving in. Gets knocked down there. And the puck back behind the net. Taken by the Avalanche again. But the Kings trying to regain possession as Nick Shore throws a check. The puck came out to the blue line. Driven wide. Shore goes for it again. Now Jordan Nolan comes in. And so does Clifford. Clifford in the circle. Shoots. Deflected wide. Picked up now by Reguer. Reguer drives it in. Avalanche take it, can't clear. Reguer, his shot deflects off to the right side to Martinez. Now to Nolan. Kings with the pressure on. Here's Shore. Shore behind the net. Landeskog trying to dig it out. Nolan comes in to check him. Shore being checked there and down to the ice. Brad Stewart, a former King, throwing a check there. Then he went down to the ice, and the puck taken now by Nate Gennon. Gennon for the Avalanche drives it deep in the King zone. King with his 12th of the year from Carter at 13:56, and the Kings get on the board first here tonight. Avalanche in their own zone. Tyson Barrie moves it ahead to the blue line, taken away by Stoll. Now picked up as the Kings come to center ice. Pass on the right side, cutting in deep. Shot from there is knocked down by Varlamov and picked up by the Avalanche and cleared back out to center. Lewis speeding down the right wing. Puck is taken again by the Kings in the Avalanche zone. Back to the blue line. Shot from there and a glove stop by Varlamov on the shot by Matt Green.
Good speed by that line. I mean, Dustin Brown's been wheeling. Trevor Lewis has been wheeling. Breakouts have been much more clean here for the Kings in the last 10 minutes. Kings lead 1-0. By the Kings, use your skill, and the skill right there with Jeff Carter would be speed. Watch him pick up a loose puck. He knows he's going to attack. At the same time, when he knows he attacks this way, going to stop here, guys, he's going to get pressured. He also knows, because he took a look in the neutral zone, that someone will be following the play. Exactly what happens. Good chance himself. Rebounds there because of the low shot off the pad. How many times have we talked about that? That's almost a set play nowadays in the NHL. They practice and practice. The skill of Carter is the speed, the thinking, the vision. Get the shot on Owen. Dwight King, his job, just drive to the net.
And the Kings have it again. Here is Brown behind the net. Back it goes to Muzzin. Right side it goes now to Doughty. He shoots. It's deflected. Picked up by Lewis, but he got knocked down. And the Avalanche with it in their own zone. Jim, you mentioned injuries early for the Avalanche. They've had 462 man games lost to injury coming into this game tonight. Second most in the NHL. Couple players out tonight. Nathan McKinnon, 19 years old. He's out with a foot injury. So is the veteran Daniel Briere. So they have had some important members of this team out with injury.
Johnson with a knee, Wilson with a shoulder, McGinn with a back, Bordeleau with a knee, Winchester post-concussion syndrome. You just keep going through a list. Top players, skill players, and it's been a tough year this year for the Colorado Avalanche.
And they have been eliminated earlier today when the Winnipeg Jets won. Here on the right side, shot from there, and a save and a rebound. Knocked wide as getting out, I believe it was the goaltender Varlamov who got out to knock it away. And it's cleared back up to center ice, but another big, juicy rebound for the Kings. Into the zone. Down the right side is Toffoli. Avalanche break it up. Toffoli got it back for a moment. Now it's cleared high in the air to center, and Matt Green goes back in to get it. Minute 35 to go here in the first period. The Kings with a 1-0 lead. Kings move it up ahead to center. Now on the left wing to Gabrick. Gabrick across the line. Made a nice move between the legs pass and just shot wide by Kopitar.
He kept going. Never looked like he had control of the puck, but then he makes a good pass with it.
Puck taken by the Kings again. Left side. Williams pass intercepted and held in by McNabb at the blue line. He throws it in deep. Taken away by the Avalanche now. And boy, the Kings have really made some nice moves here in this first period, but they haven't led into goals necessarily. But boy, that was quite a move by Gabrick.
I thought the first 5 minutes, Bob, the Avalanche had that pressure, and the Kings were a little bit out of sync on breakouts, but then they started to get the clean breakouts at work. Another shot, that's Toffoli this time. Carter misses on the rebound, but the same line on the ice. Here's Gabrick. Doesn't have it, doesn't have it, doesn't have it, has it, makes the pass, and just there at the last second, you can see Hayter get a piece of it. So it doesn't go all the way through cleanly. Good job, though, by the Kings back off the Avalanche at the blue line.
Now the face-off back in the King zone, and O'Reilly on the draw comes back to the right point. They're going to give Robin Regehr an assist on the Kings' first goal, the only goal of the game so far. Coming back is Landeskog at center ice to take it away for the Avalanche. Avalanche back in their own zone with 35 seconds left to go here in the first period. Puck cleared up ahead to center and across the line. Now in deep. Shot just wide by Tanguay. Coming down the middle. Now back to the blue line. Shot from there and a save, and the rebound held in by the Avalanche again. Muzzin going for it. He gets it over now to Nolan. Nolan up to center. 13 seconds to go in the period. Here's Clifford on the right wing. Clifford trying to give it back to Nolan. Then Clifford takes a shot that goes wide. 6 seconds to go in the period. Avalanche in their own zone, and that's going to do it for the period. That is the end of period number 1. The Kings skate off with a 1-0 lead on the goal by Dwight King, his 12th of the year. Carter and Regehr were the assists at 13:56.
Yeah, I was impressed with the way the Kings built their speed there in the first period, because then early on, again, the Avalanche really had the forecheck working, not to create chances, but to create turnovers, and that was happening. But then the Kings really played with poise the rest of the way. The defensemen zeroed in on the receivers. They made the passes, and the Kings leave the zone.
Right now, let's go up. Kings Hockey is brought to you by Subaru. Test drive the all-new 2015 Subaru Forester, or go to Subaru.com to learn more. And by Jack in the Box. Try the new Buttery Jack Burgers at Jack in the Box with melted garlic herb butter.
We are back. We're back live. Staples Center, 1-0 Kings after 1 period of play. A reminder, Fox Sports 1 is your home for opening day coverage before and after the Angels Mariners game, which will be Monday on Fox Sports West, with game updates, one-on-one interviews, previews from around the league. Fox Sports 1's special opening day coverage starts with America's pregame. That's at 9 a.m., followed by MLB Whip Around at 10 a.m. And if you can't get it to a TV, sometimes you just can't get there. Sometimes you got to find another way. You can watch it all on your phone or tablet using Fox Sports Go, the application, and you check it out right there. There's Dwight King. He has the goal. The Kings looking to make it a little bit more here, but the important thing, solid first period, go from there.
They've taken one shot away from the Avalanche in that first period, so the Kings held them to only 3 shots on goal in period number 1.
They took one shot away, but they gave, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I was counting them there, stitches under the left eye of Dwight King. So you take away a shot, you get a couple stitches.
He'll exchange a goal for some stitches.
No question. Oh, yeah.
Second period underway. Both teams at full strength, and the Avalanche back in their own zone. Clear it up ahead to center ice. Kings take over. They get it over to Williams. Williams across the line. Williams check there. Tried to get it at Kopitar. He did. Kopitar gets knocked down. Puck comes up to center ice. Avalanche into the Kings zone. They try to get it to Duchesne. Broken up there now, and the Kings into the left wing corner. Trying to pick it up. Williams was there. Colorado Avalanche come in to try and pick it up. It's tipped away back to center, and here's Kopitar. Kopitar down the right side. Kopitar in deep. Avalanche zone. Gets checked down the corner. Double team there. He gets a pass into the corner, though. Kings move it around over to Williams. Williams on the left side. Williams still with it. Hangs on to it. Then his pass taken away, and Iginla clears it out to center for Colorado. Picked up now by Drew Doughty for the Kings. He gets it up to center ice. Oh, now over to Carter. Carter to Toffoli. Toffoli shoots. Blocked. Rebound. Avalanche have it. Back up to center ice. Here on the left side. Alex Tanguay drops it back. Now Landeskog shoots and scores. It went off the glove. It looked like a quick, and then O'Reilly driving to the net, and the game is tied 1-1.
Oh, just one of those where it looked like Jonathan Quick had it, and it hit his glove. I didn't see anything as far as the puck changing directions. We'll get a better look coming at you right here. So the first shot is there, and yeah, Jonathan has it, but then he doesn't. And there's O'Reilly. So it's one of those where the first shot, once again, is not dangerous, and that one certainly comes from the angle, but any type of garbage there, and that's what happens. You don't see that too obviously. Look at Jonathan. He knows what happened himself. Anytime a goaltender has a chance to handle a puck like that, a shot like that in your catching glove, you've got to hold on. He was not able to, so the break or bounce goes for the Avalanche. It's one of those Jonathan wants to have back, but it doesn't matter. We're tied 1-1.
O'Reilly now at 25 points in his last 24 games, and he ties the game at 1-1. Puck down to the corner of the Colorado zone, and Tanguay over to get it. Puck is cleared up in the air and to center ice to Landeskog. Landeskog fighting his way to the blue line of the Kings, and then it's driven down in deep, and here's Regehr back in to get it. Regehr checked by Alex Tanguay. Puck comes over now toward Carter. Carter along the boards, got it to the blue line, but not out. Now he intercepts Carter up to center ice, trying to feed it over to Lewis. Here's Lewis on the right side, and the Avalanche take it away and clear it back out to center ice.
So Jonathan Quick knows himself. It's one of those where you got to shake it off. He's done that before. Every goaltender in the NHL has done that before, where you have one where Is that considered a bad goal? I think he would consider that a bad goal because of where the shot came from and where it came into his body, right into his glove.
O'Reilly with a goal, his 16th of the year. Landeskog and Tanguay the assist at 1:12 into the second period. Backhander in front, saved by Varlamov. Up the middle, Green shoots, deflected wide. Picked up now by McNabb. He shoots and a save by Varlamov, and his own player falls over his back.
You know, once again, that Stoll line with Lewis and Brown has been very effective creating chances, and they create a scramble chance. They create a whole bunch going on there. Varlamov in the last second just stays at home. The big goaltender. Again, the attack going on. You see to the inside. A little drop. Now this shot, again, I'm looking for a screen. I'm looking for a tip. Anything that fool the goaltender or would distract the goaltender, and it wasn't there. And again, the reaction of Jonathan Quick tells the entire story. Watch this last shot. I think it goes off the skate of the defenseman, and it's clicked up high. I mean, it goes from about ice level right to about shoulder level. Goaltender initial position is so important. Varlamov has it. Makes the save.
Nick Shore on the draw for the Kings, but the Avalanche win the faceoff, taken away by Clifford. Clifford leaves it for Nolan. Nolan back out to the blue line. Avalanche zone, held in by Muzzin. Muzzin drives it back behind the net, and the Avalanche send it along the boards, but pinching in is Muzzin. Muzzin in deep. His pass in front comes wide to the right side to Doughty. Doughty checked along the boards there and moves it down in deep. Taken away by the Avalanche and picked up by Brad Stewart. He was with the Kings back in 2007. Now Doughty with it. Got it up to center ice, shoveled ahead, but hustling back to get it. Freddie Hamilton drives it off the boards. Kings hold it in. Avalanche zone. Pass of the middle. Shot from there, and a save by Varlamov, and a rebound in front. Clifford couldn't get his stick on it. Back come the Avalanche. Back to center ice. Fired down in deep by Hamilton. The Avs want to get a line change. Kings back in to get it. Here's Robin Regehr. Regehr cut off there by Duchesne. Now Doughty with it for the Kings. Game tied at 1. Doughty's pass off the boards, and the Kings would be offside if they touch it. Avalanche have it. Now the Kings touch up, and play continues. Pass up to center. Iginla tipped it to the blue line. Now the Kings trying to get back to pick it up. Gaborik down into the corner, but the Avs have it as Kopitar comes back to try and take it away. Kopitar battling down in the corner. Now Williams comes in to help out. Kopitar on Duchesne. He knocks Duchesne down. Puck behind the net. Losing his balance was Williams, but on his knees he passed it over, and Gaborik has it.
I'll give credit to Duchesne, Bob. He is not a flopper at all. There's been a couple times in this game where, he's been tripped or sticking to his skates.
Intercepted. Shot. Saved and deflected out of play. Iginla. Wow, the Kings with a pass right into the slot.
Yeah, got him in trouble there, but again with Duchesne. So he's battling, but he's not flopping. I appreciate that. Remember that save we talked about? It goes off the stick of Trevor Lewis. But watch this. What about rebound control? Very rarely do I talk about the neck position and chin position of the goaltender. Varlamov actually holds that one to his neck by dropping his head and holding his chin against the puck. So no second chance because of the control of the rebound.
Kings in their own zone here, trying to get possession of it. Muzzin battling for it along the boards. And he comes out with a puck. Gets it over to Dwight King. King gets it out to center ice and back in the Avalanche zone. And no icing here. Puck is taken back behind the net. Picked up now and sent off to the right side and out to center ice. Avalanche with it. Backhanded into the King zone. Down in deep behind the net, here's Doughty. Back on the right side to Foley into the zone. Toffoli shoots, and it's deflected wide. He had a man right on him. He got that shot off in a hurry. Back to center. Landeskog for the Avalanche. Sends it deep in the King zone and back in to get it, McNabb. McNabb back to center. Flips it up in the air, chased in by Brown, but offside called against the Kings.
Well, Gabriel Landeskog, of course, when he was named captain of the Avalanche, he was the youngest captain in NHL history. He's talked about that recently because he feels he's really grown into the position. And he admitted when he took it over, he said, it kind of threw him off a little bit. Now he says he's able to see the big picture a little more, so he doesn't take things as personal as he once did. And he's really filling out as a great player and a good captain.
Number 1 pick out of Sweden. He's in his 4th year. Puck taken by Brown. Back to the blue line. It goes to Green. He shoots. It's wide and a rebound off the boards. Almost got caught up in the back of the net. Now picked up by the Kings. A shot from the left side is just wide. Picked up now and Along the boards, battled for there by Brown. To Green. Green dropped it back to McNabb. It was his shot that just was knocked wide. Now a shot from a sharp angle and a save by Varlamov, and the puck up the middle, but the Kings couldn't get to it. Taken by lead pass back up to McLeod at center. He shoots. It's deflected into the corner. McNabb over to reach out and poke it ahead. Nice play. And it gets it started back to center ice. Right side here is Lewis. Lewis into the zone. He got checked along the right wing board, put it down in the corner. Lewis goes for it again. But the Avalanche get it out to center ice, and the Kings control it. 13:39 to go here in the second period. The game is tied at 1. Nick Shore in to try and get to it. Now he gets help from Clifford. Puck is loose in the corner, taken there by Nolan. Jordan Nolan to Clifford. Clifford back to Nolan. Now taken by Shore. Shore back to the left side. Kings hold it in. Shore gets it again. Shore's pass to Clifford. Clifford still with it. Clifford drops it off. Shore behind the net. Shore and Martinez. Here's Shore. Shore over now to Martinez. He shoots, and it's wide. Rebound off the boards out to center.
And the Kings continue with a puck possession. The cycle, 5 men involved. Only 4 shots on goal. I guess that first shot attempt on the goal was considered going high and not going to be on net because the second one was put in by O'Reilly. But the Kings continue to dominate the puck. But at this time of the season, we're thinking about standings and numbers. The only numbers that matter, 1-1 on the board.
Back into the Kings zone, Muzzin. Now up to center ice. Over to Williams. Drives it deep into the zone. Avalanche try to get back there and pick it up. They do, and it is cleared to the blue line and back out to center ice. Now the Avs back into their own zone. The pass by John Mitchell. Taken away by Kopitar. And Kopitar's pass intercepted by Duchesne. Here's Duchesne across the line. Duchesne with Iginla. Duchesne shoots. Save. Rebound. Iginla whacks at it and a save by Quick.
Quick action, back and forth, transition, turnover at the far blue line hurts the Kings. But Jonathan Quick stays at home on this 2-on-1. Then you'll see him coming right at you. At the last second, Doughty gets a piece. No good second chance. We're still tied. We're going the other way. Clear cut 2-on-1. But Jake Muzzin does a pretty good job here. Watch stick position by Muzzin. You have Duchesne wide. Stick position now, taking away a potential pass because of the drive. That keeps Duchesne on the outside. Now when you get a little bit further, your job as a defenseman is to delay as much as possible. That stick position is delaying it. Now that cross pass is even more of a gamble for Duchesne. Decides to take the shot. Not dangerous save. No real big second chance off the skate right there. Good job of the defenseman taking away the net most dangerous player. That's the pass.
And the Avalanche with it again, sent behind the net where it's picked up by Doughty. Doughty moves it around to Lewis. Lewis got it to the blue line, but not out. Avs hold it in again. Then a check on Iginla by Stoll. Stoll chases it down. Avs get back, but it's picked up now by Brown, but offside called against the Kings.
Well, you can help prevent toxic waste buildup and donate to the used battery drive in conjunction with Staples before the Kings game on April 11th. At all entrances to Staples Center, donations will be met with a raffle ticket for a chance to win a team-signed hat. So you help us, we help you. Visit LAKings.com/EarthMonth for more details.
Send our condolences to the family of Judy Murphy, an avid Kings fan who passed away March 26th. Her funeral was today. Our condolences to her daughter Kathy and all of her family from all of us with the Kings. Puck back down into the Kings zone. The game tied at 1 here in the second period. Here's Lewis. Slaps it into the zone. Over to Brown. Brown put it down in deep. Lewis goes for it there. He throws a check at Brad Stewart. And just out of the reach of Brown in the Avalanche zone. And now the Avs clear it into the Kings zone. Loose puck cleared to the blue line and now driven right back in by Nate Gennon of the Avalanche. 11:11 left to go here in period number 2. 1-1 the score. Pass up the center, intercepted by the Avalanche. They get it back to John Mitchell. Mitchell across the line. Into the Kings zone, taken by Doughty. Doughty over now to Brown, and he got checked there, and the puck is picked up along the boards. And now to the blue line. It was Lewis trying to clear it out. Now Lewis back in to get it, back in his own zone.
Not controlling or not dominating by any means, but the Avalanche much better now, more time in the offensive zone.
They hold it in the zone again. Duchesne to the blue line. Shot from there is just wide to the right. Shot by Nick Holden.
Yeah, Gilla goes to the front right there, and he creates a screen. He draws attention with the defenseman. So the Avalanche picking their game up here.
Puck is taken and cleared back up, and a check by Brown. A hard check there on Tyson Barrie. For the Avalanche in the Kings zone, they've got it again. Here's Landeskog. Landeskog on the right side to the blue line. Shot is up high and out of play. So a face-off coming up.
Well, the Kings will try to get back to the forecheck game. I think when you talk about possession, I think it still goes to the Kings here in a second, but quality chances. Daryl Sutter, Jake Muzzin had to defend that 2-on-1, and the Avalanche circling the net right now. The one thing the Avs are doing, they're getting men to the front of the net, and that's creating problems for the Kings.
Face-off taken by the Kings. Carter on the draw, and the Kings clear it up ahead to center. Toffoli, I think, just got whacked in the mouth. It looked like with a collision there at center. He stays on the ice, though. Puck in the corner, taken by Carter. Carter, Avalanche zone, all the way to the blue line. Turns, fires one, right side. Martinez, he scores! He scored again!
3-1 Kings!
Martinez drove it on the first one. It came right back to him just to make sure. Put it in again.
The fastest 2 goals in Kings history. Watch this here. It goes off the post, but then off the far side. That one is in, I believe. It hit the mesh on the other side. You see, everyone stops. A good indication usually is an NHL player understanding what goes on. Normally they get it right. It did. It went to the far side. If you go back and forth, yeah, great job, guys. You can see it right there. So it went off the near post, far side. That's why everyone stopped. Even a goaltender in that situation, even though they don't see it, they know. They just get a feeling. And because everyone stopped, Alex gets a chance to just pick up that next one and put it home. High above, no question there. Of course, Toronto would be reviewing this. Time will be put back on the clock if it wasn't stopped the initial time. In this case, we're only talking about 2, maybe 3 seconds. But after the Avalanche looked like they were turning their game around, getting more offensive zone time, the Kings come back. That rebound has worked tonight for the Kings for both goals. They lead 2-1.
Avalanche with it at center ice now as the Kings goal by Martinez makes it 2-1 Kings here in the second period. McNabb in to get to it. Now it comes to Nolan. Nolan clears it all the way back in the Avalanche zone. This is going to be icing against the Kings. And it is going to be brought back for the face-off. Well, in the NCAA final, Wisconsin beats Kentucky 71-64.
My Badgers again? Wow. Who were you cheering for, Bob?
Not Ashley Judd's Kentucky Wildcats.
Whoa! Bob Miller's Wisconsin Badgers. They do the job. The only next best thing would be a Kings winning tonight here against the Avs.
Well, the semifinal game, they still got to play Duke. But they eliminated Kentucky tonight. Puck comes back down into the zone. They're announcing the goal by Martinez right now. Toffoli will get an assist on it. And Jeff Carter. Puck in the Avalanche zone down into the corner. Redmond going for it. Martinez getting his 6th of the year from Toffoli and Carter at 10-11. Back behind the net now. The puck taken by the Kings with 8:40 left to go here in the second period. Up to center ice. Here is Doughty. Doughty to Williams. Now to Kopitar. In deep. Kopitar spinning around, and his shot went wide. Tried to come around and stuff it in as he circled the net, but it went wide and into the corner. Now look who's all the way back into the King zone. That's Kopitar. Got it back out to center, and the Avalanche with it again. Driven down deep into the King zone where Doughty takes over. Back up to center ice. Broken up there by Duchesne for the Avalanche.
That one move that Kopitar tried there, Bob, is one of the few examples where scouting a goaltender really works. You know, if a goaltender's going to be aggressive, offside here against the Kings as Kopitar just went over the line. But that's one thing that really is the goaltender stay deep. Does he come out? If he comes out, then you can go around for those wraparound tries. After the break, when we come back, Patch Cordeal on the bench.
With Dwight King, who scored the Kings' first goal of the game, what did you think of Alec Martinez's goal? Probably the fastest 2 goals in Kings history.
Yeah, it was good of him to stay with it, I guess. I don't know what he was thinking on the first one. He must not have known it went in, but it's good to see he's hungry to score.
How does a goal like that change the momentum for you guys in this game?
I think it just helps us to get back where we were. We had a pretty good first after we got the first goal, and kind of fell off there with that goal, and we got half a game left here to get back to it.
Thanks for the time.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, you can see, guys, Dwight King with some repairs there, but he's ready to go. Back to you.
And the game so far, kind of a microcosm of the Kings' style, the way they play. He's talking about a drop-off, Bob. We're more than halfway through the game. The Avalanche only have 5 shots on goal, so you'd think that's great, that's perfect, but that's just how close the NHL is. You only have a 1-goal lead.
Now the puck back to the King blue line and poked down in deep and taken by Brown. Brown gets away from a check, still has it, moves it up to the blue line. Quick pass off on the right side, chased down by Lewis. Tipped away from him, and then he spun out, and the puck cleared back to center. Lewis had some speed, but then he got spun around, and now Green drives it down into the Kings zone. The Kings want to get a line change. 7:11 to go here in period number 2. And the Kings with a 1-goal lead. Brad Stewart hangs on to it behind the net. Avalanche get it up ahead now to center. Here across the line, O'Reilly. He's got their goal. O'Reilly on the right side. Threw it in front, just wide to the left. Held in by Tanguay. Tanguay along the boards. Now Landeskog put it in deep, and Tanguay checked there by Reguer. Somebody's got to pick up the puck. They do, and the puck comes out to center ice, and back to get it is O'Reilly.
That line can be dangerous. You can understand exactly why. They have a good mix on that line. Tanguay gets out there. He's the playmaker. Landeskog does so many different things, both sides of the puck, more of the power forward. O'Reilly, he just uses his speed, his vision. So 3 different players that work very well together.
Carter dropped it back to Foley, didn't get it, but right behind him was Martinez, and he drives it into the Avalanche zone. King down in the corner. It's help from Toffoli. Carter with 2 assists in the game tonight, 7 points in the last 6 games for him. Taken by King now to the blue line. Muzzin shoots, save, rebound. Toffoli in front and knocked down there by Varlamov. Sprawling. Now the Kings again, but a pass going to be taken away by Iginla.
Great adjustment by Varlamov. You recognize the fact that he had to keep his pad flat, meaning as wide as possible to make that save. There wasn't an angle there for Toffoli to go up top.
Kings again into the zone, round the right wing side, picked up by Nolan. Nolan spinning, trying to move it in front, gets cut off, still has it, to the blue line to Doughty. Doughty, left side, Muzzin, his shot blocked, Muzzin back to get it, holds it in, drives it down in deep to Clifford. Kyle Clifford, Avalanche zone, Clifford backhander, in front to Nolan. Nolan tried to give it to Clifford, now back to Nolan. Nolan in the corner. Nolan still with it. Up the middle and then shot wide, and the rebound off the boards to Doughty. Doughty gives it back now to Nolan. Nolan back over to Muzzin. Back across the ice to Doughty. Played it off the boards. Kings with puck possession again now and some chances, but the Avalanche take it away. It is picked up by Nick Holden, and he clears it to center ice.
4th line doing the job for the Kings. What a shift there with Nolan, Clifford, Shore. Clifford and Shore still on the ice, but great job down low. Good body position, good physicality, under control. Not looking to take guys' heads off, just looking to be physical and keep control of that puck.
Avalanche, as Jim pointed out earlier, 3 shots in the first period, only 2 here in the second. Avalanche turn it around, though, and here comes Duchesne. He's dangerous. He comes across the line. He got checked there. He threw it in front, and it is just tipped wide. And picked up by the Kings. Freddie Hamilton was in front of the King net. Taken now by the Kings and driven back behind the net by Williams. Loose puck. Varlamov just kind of left it there, and the Kings almost intercepted as Kopitar came back. Now the Kings with it again. Up ahead to Williams. Throws it over left side to Gabrick. Gabrick hanging on. Into Kopitar. Kopitar still with it. Jim, the Kings moving with speed now that at times we haven't seen this season, but they are moving that puck around quickly. Now Martinez shoots and a save, Varlamov.
I think a lot of it, Bob, is just kind of a simple approach. It's north-south, and then you hold on with bigger bodies. You out-muscle the other team, and you outweigh the other team, so use that physicality.
Into the corner goes Kopitar. He gave it to Williams. Avalanche zone, back to Kopitar. Kopitar to the blue line, left side, Regier shoots wide, rebound off the boards. Avalanche going to get to it, and it's cleared by Duchesne back into the Kings zone, icing against Colorado.
There was a potential counterattack there for the Avalanche, but because they're defending so much, when they get it, they're tired.
Yeah.
And they can't really do much with the puck. They just got to chip it out and get it going. Varlamov, high above Staples, one save, second save, just extending.
Wow.
We've seen that type of save many times before from Jonathan Quick. You need the flexibility, but you got to find the puck. Watch him find it. Eyes on the puck, pad in position, glove over top just in case. Big save right there.
Well, I thought Toffoli had one there. He had a great chance, but a great save by Varlamov. Kings are again with it in the Avalanche zone. Pass up the middle. Brown shoots, and a save by Varlamov. Varlamov in his 55th game of the year. Martinez puts the Kings ahead. 2-1.
The Kings have been there about 450,000 times before. And it's that you're playing well, you're under control. One of the keys was, control factor, tempo. The Kings have done a good job there. 17 shots, not overwhelming for the Kings, but only 5 for the Avalanche. So Patrick Roy wants to see a little bit more going, but the Kings won't let them do that. But the reason I'm bringing it up, the Kings have seen it before because it's still a 1-goal deficit. You still have to play the type of game that you can't take anything for granted in this situation. Margin for error, still very slight. So the Kings want to just keep playing the same way. Hopefully they get more offensive results.
Puck cleared to the King line, and then the Avs offside. They have to touch up. This is the Avalanche final road game of the season. The Kings have one home game left. This is our final home telecast of the season because a week from today at noon, Kings and San Jose is going to be an NBC game. Puck is along the boards in the Avalanche zone. We talked earlier about man games lost to injury. 462 for the Avalanche. The Kings, 126. Huge difference. 336 man game difference. Puck comes up to center ice. Landeskog with it, taken away for a moment by Brown. Regained by the Avalanche and driven down in deep by Redmond. Avs go for a change, and the Kings in their own zone get it to Doughty, and Doughty back over now to Muzzin. Up to Brown. Brown got it out to center ice, but the Avalanche take it away. Here is Nick Holden. Moves it ahead, now driven down deep into the Kings zone. Cody McLeod goes for it, so does Muzzin. McLeod checks Muzzin behind the net. Greenberg picked it up, or Everberg. He comes back toward the middle, can't get a shot. Now along the boards, staying right with him, the Kings, Jake Muzzin, and now Muzzin got knocked down. Puck is taken by the Avalanche and thrown down in deep, and again, McLeod goes for it now.
And this is the type of shift the Avalanche need. It's been a long time since they had the puck in the offensive zone, and if not for some pretty smart stick-on-puck defense there by Jake Muzzin, maybe the Avs get something there, so you need one of those shifts every once in a while. Stay tuned later tonight in the post-game show for the Business of Sports, brought to you by AutoNation.com and powered by AutoNation Buena Park. So we've got a whole bunch of stuff for you in the post-game show, including the Business of Sports.
1:32 to go here in the second period. And the face-off in the King zone to the left of Quick, and on the draw it's Carter, but they're going to do it again.
It looks like Jeff Carter will be kicked out right now. So again, they're looking, he can stay in there. He's going to stay in there. Again, the away team has to put their stick down first. That will be Mitchell. Carter will follow.
And off the draw, the Avs with it. Iginla with a shot blocked and cleared out to center ice by the Kings and chased down now by Carter in the right wing. Carter shoots, save, rebound taken by the Avalanche.
If Carter gets the rebound, he scoops it around, gets the goal. Toe save on the rebound chance. Varlamov makes sure he knows where that puck is. Another athletic save by the goaltender.
Pretty exciting when you see room for Carter and you see him with the puck.
I'd like to get a close-up of his eyes. They must just open up because he sees it, he gets there quick, and here's the first one. Watch the second one. Right there. He kicks it out like a flipper in a pinball machine. The goaltender's pad does the save here. That's the important thing. Sometimes you lose the puck because you can't feel it. He knows where it is, makes the second stop.
Tyson Barrie got over in a hurry to try and check Carter. Puck is in the Avalanche zone. Duchesne trying to dig it out, and Carter comes in to check him. Carter with it, shoots with a minute to go in the period. Carter gets checked again. The puck comes back out to the right point. Held in by Martinez. Throws it in front. Tipped up in the air. King goes for it. Couldn't get a shot. King sends it back to the blue line. Regehr shoots. It's blocked out to center. Regehr trying to get back. Picked up by Iginla. Iginla on the right side. Feeds it ahead now. Avalanche in deep. And a shot and a save by Quick. And a big save there on John Mitchell.
Well, just put it to the outside. Mitchell, pretty good move by Bob. He was on his off wing. Couple of stick handles. Takes it right to the middle. At the end, because of the read of Jonathan Quick, he was in position. Hoping his defenders would do the job. They did it. Then he makes the save.
Boy, in the closing seconds of this period, that could have tied the game. Avalanche again now. Here's O'Reilly. Shoots. Saved by Quick. Rebound. Taken back behind the net by Doughty, but taken away by the Avalanche. They hold it in the King zone. Here's O'Reilly again. His shot deflected up high. Picked up by McNabb. McNabb's pass taken away by O'Reilly, but time runs out on the Avalanche. And that is the end of 2 periods. And the goal by Martinez in the second period has put the Kings ahead 2-1. O'Reilly got the goal in that period for the Avalanche. But at the end of 2, the Avalanche with only 7 shots on goal.
Yeah, maximize your skill set. We've talked about that so many times. Alec Martinez plays that way. He's always looking for that opening. He doesn't force it, but he's looking for the opening. When the opening was there, the rebound that the shot never really got through, he was there, and the Kings took.
Brought to you by Mercury Insurance. Mercury Insurance is on a mission to save you money. Log on to mercuryinsurance.com today to get a fast, free quote and see how much you can save.
Welcome back to Staples Center. It's down to crunch time in the Western Conference. We're down to 20 minutes, maybe more. We hope not. Here at Staples Center, downstairs right now, Kings associate coach, that's John Stevens. John, a lot of talk lately about the Kings' 4th line. Can you give us your evaluation of the 4th line so far tonight?
Well, I think they've been good for us. You know, they're really skating hard on pucks in the offensive zone. I think anytime you see that puck get deep in the zone with that group and they spend time in the offensive zone, creating opportunities and creating face-offs in the offensive zone. I think we've seen all that from that line tonight. They've been good for us.
I'm sure, John, that, since the Kings have been in this type of situation so many times where, shot advantage, you're holding to the opposition only 7 after 40 minutes, but, any keys that you really concentrated on there during the second intermission?
Well, we always want to be quick on our own end and really limit zone time, but they're a very good transition team. You give them a 3-quarter ice game, they're good at it. So we got to make sure they play 200 feet by getting pucks down deep and going to work in the offensive zone.
Okay, John. So John Stevens joining us here after 2. We'd like to thank him, and of course it is our last home game of the regular season, televised for the Kings, and just want to thank the coaching staff for helping us out.
Yeah.
I know we'll get a couple probably opportunities on the road, depending on the building. Sometimes the building, the configuration on the road doesn't allow us to do that, but thanks to the coaches for helping us out.
No doubt about that. 3rd period underway, and thanks to our crew up here, Doug Mann, our statistician, Donna Moskal, our stage manager, and all of our Fox Sports West crew that have been with us all year. We do have 3 games on the road on this road trip, and they are going to be important games. Don't miss them. Starting Monday night in Vancouver. Now a shot from the right side and a save there as the 3rd period underway, and the shot by Williams was knocked away. Now Gaborik with it. Gaborik behind the net. Gaborik's pass off the right side, off the boards to Doughty. Doughty to the blue line, holds it in, sent it in toward Gaborik, broken up there, and going to be cleared out to center ice by Landeskog. And the Avalanche back across the line, left side, down in deep. And Landeskog just waiting for a pass. Then a shot, knocked down. Doughty was in front, and then Quick knocked it down.
Yeah, Duchesne comes off the bench, Bob, and on that entry, the initial entry, it looked like it was about a 2-on-5, maybe a 2-on-4. But then the Kings were a little too focused on the over back check, and that allowed the man coming off the bench to be that much more dangerous. Again, Jonathan Quick's known as an aggressive goaltender, so Duchesne decides to hang on, but Doughty's playing goal right now. Duchesne at the last second tries to bank it off of Doughty and goes by him, gets to Quick, so coverage a big issue right there for the Kings. Early chance for the Avs.
Kings win the draw, and it comes off a stick right toward Quick, and he covers it up there and hangs on to it. Face off of the Kings zone once again. 3rd period just underway, and the Kings, even though they've outshot the Avs 19-7, the Kings have only a 1-goal lead. Off the face-off here, Avalanche with it. Here's Duchesne, throws it in front, knocked down, and diving is Quick to cover it up.
I mentioned before in this game, Duchesne will not go down easy. He's not a flopper. He stands on his feet. But the reason he does that is he's one of the best skaters that you're going to see. Coming up a little bit later, Carl Jr. Sports Update. Patrick O'Neill will take us. We've been doing this for a while now, but the reason we're doing it, it's so important. What's going on in the Western Conference, important to the Kings tonight. 2 points against Colorado.
Duchesne wins the draw, then a shot, tipped and loose in front and then swept away out to the right side, but Barry holds it in. Barry for the Avalanche. Now to Duchesne. Boy, the Avs have had a couple of great chances here to tie the score. Kings come back across the line. Here's Carter. Carter waits, he shoots, and knocked out to the right point, picked up by Martinez. Kings again with the puck in the Avalanche zone. Foley's pass knocked down, and here's Ginla driving to center, but the puck is out of his reach. Now he has to go into the corner to pick it up. He eludes a check there, pass up the middle, and knocked away into the corner. Picked up now by the Avs again, and a shot by Mitchell and a save. Rebound cleared by the Kings.
Well, the Kings are a little bit obviously on their heels right now. Tyler Toffoli was a little risky there at the offensive blue line where he came across laterally, and it's one of those hot potato things. If he gives it to a teammate, he's putting them in a bad position. If he holds on, it's a bad position. So the simple approach of the Avalanche here in the third period has been exactly that. Here's that play with Toffoli. Now, if he gives it to the middle, it's trouble. He tried to get it deep, could not do it. In that area right there, that gray area, the puck must go deep.
Stoll won the faceoff in the Kings zone, but a pass comes out to center ice. And the Avalanche back in their own zone to get it. Stoll into forecheck. Puck is picked up now, but the Kings take it away for a moment on the right side, and then the Avalanche get it back again as Marc-Andre Cliche, who used to be with the Kings, got back to pick up that puck.
I think so far in the third, Bob, for Colorado, it's been a more simple approach where they're just going north-south. Any opportunity to put it at the net, that's what they're doing, and that's a good way to put the other team back on their heels because you're always wondering where that next puck's going to go.
Kings up to center. McNabb throws it on the right side. Then a shot is wide. Rebound off the boards. Back to the left point. Held in by McNabb. Taken away by the Avalanche. They come back up to center ice on the right side. Driven down Ian deep. Back behind the net. Kings take over there. It was driven in deep by Nate Gennon. Now the Kings trying to clear. There's a check along the boards, and flying down to the ice went Brown. Brown gets up. Kings don't clear it yet. Doughty peels back into the Kings zone. Doughty's pass up now to Brown. Brown leaves it the blue line. Kings still don't bring it to center. Nolan with it. Now over to Doughty. Now ahead and now up to center ice. Kings with it. Pass on the left side. Driven by Muzzin. Around the boards and pinching down is Clifford. He couldn't hang on to it. Tipped away from him. Mitchell trying to clear. And the puck cleared out to center ice. And the Kings with it back at their own line.
And the Kings' fourth line on the ice once again. As John Stevens told us, they've done a good job in this game so far.
Pass by Muzzin. Taken away by Ginla. He's got a man in front. And wide of Duchesne. Boy, the Kings are very, very fortunate right now that they still lead by 1 goal.
Yeah, talking with Andre Kopitar after one period, he talked about supporting the puck and those types of things. If there's one thing I'm seeing so far in the third is that the Kings are making longish passes. So they're not making that 10-foot pass, and then the opposition tonight, that's the Avalanche, is getting in the way, and they're just holding on. They're getting a stick on it just to kind of disrupt things. And difficult now for the Kings to get going. Jake Muzzin turned it over. He was the guy that got back there to get a stick on it, so the pass would not connect. So it's time to get back to that support game.
Kings win the draw. They get it back to the right point. Now here driving back behind the net is Gaborik. He gives it to Kopitar. Kopitar to Gaborik. He shoots. It's wide. Rebound off the boards out to Green at the right point. Green into Kopitar. Kopitar now on the right side to Williams. Williams spinning there. Dropped it for Kopitar. Kopitar shoots, and a loose puck in front, and then sent wide to the left. Body skidding into the corner.
Yeah, and Williams looking for the loose puck. Everyone looking for the loose puck. It was in the crease there for a split second, and it was open hand pass called here. And Justin Williams, look right here. He's wondering why there's not a penalty on the play. And you see Kelly Sutherland going, oh, well, maybe I missed something, but when the puck ends up to the net and it's open, I believe there's a tackle coming up right there. Well, you know what? Good non-call. That's a good non-call because you can see the skates of Justin Williams. He just loses his own edge. There's contact made, but there's no stick, there's no hook. And you're both going for a puck right there, so maybe that's a good non-call by the referees. Right in front of them. decide to hold on and not make the whistle.
Puck comes deep into the Avalanche zone, and Dwight King trying to get to it. He's along the boards. Carter's there. So is Toffoli. Who's going to dig it out? Into the corner. King goes for it. King wrapped up there, and the puck taken by the Avalanche. Back up to center ice they come. Pass on the right side to Hamilton. Hamilton throws it down the left side, broken up by Green, but he doesn't clear it. Held in, now Green again. In the corner, he gets checked there, but he got a pass up ahead, and the Kings to center ice to Dwight King. King sends it in deep. King's in a line change now. Puck comes down into the Avalanche zone and not cleared out. It's held in on the right side. Still a battle down into the corner now, and Stoll trying to get to it. Puck comes around the boards and left side. Centering pass. Brown couldn't get to it. Picked up by Jerome Iginla. Iginla at center ice. Snaps it in deep. Avalanche go for it. There is Duchesne getting checked there. The check turned the red light on.
It's not that easy to score.
Puck is cleared to the blue line and out to center ice. First time I've seen a body check turn the red light on. Puck comes back into the King zone and taken by Martinez. Up ahead now and across the line. Into the Avalanche zone. Driving in deep is Brown. Tipped away from him and he goes down into the corner. Down to the ice. He gets back up again. Kings dig it out. Now the Avs come in and throw a body check. The puck comes back to the blue line. Shot by Doughty. Knocked down. Loose puck. Who's got it? It's right in the slot. Muzzin's going to get to it. He holds it in. Send it down the left side, but the Avalanche have it again. It's cleared off the glass and out to center ice.
The Kings coming back with a little bit of pushback. For the most part, it's been the Avalanche in this period. Now the Kings trying to turn it on.
Doughty sends it off on the right side, but it's intercepted, but held in by Shore. Shore's shot is knocked down and all the way back into the Kings zone, and Doughty back in to get it. 2-1 Kings. 13 and a half to go in the third period. Puck taken by Muzzin. Monday night, we'll be greeting you from Vancouver on Prime Ticket at 7 p.m. 6:30, Kings Live. Now into Kopitar. Kopitar, Avalanche zone, hangs on, throws it in deep. It's going to be taken away by Cleach. His pass up the left side to Landeskog. Landeskog now up to center ice and down into the Kings zone. No icing here. Kings back in to get it. Puck taken now by Gabbert. Gabbert's pass tipped away, and the Avalanche go for it again. Get it back out to center ice. Kings can't pick it up. It's taken by McLeod. He drives it down in deep into the King zone. Cody McLeod back in to try and get it, but it's poked free and over to Kopitar. Kopitar got it up in the air to center ice and into the Avalanche zone. Still just a one-goal lead for the Kings as Nate Gennon in his 8th year picks it up. Moved it along the boards to the blue line. Kings try to take it away. Can't get it yet. Now King got hit there by McLeod. And the puck cleared up to center to Iginla. Iginla backhands it deep in the King zone, and Reguer back in to get it over to Martinez. He got hit by Iginla. Puck is held in at the left point. Martinez takes it for the Kings. He gets it up the right side. Chipped ahead now to King. Here's King across the line. King, right side. He shoots and a save. Varlamov. 11:59 to go in the third. 2-1 Kings.
Welcome back. Patrick O'Neill here, you with the Carl's Jr. Sports Update. We're at the point of the season where we can fit the remaining schedule on just one page. As you take a look here, we're going to look at the key teams the Kings are chasing down. You look at Calgary and Winnipeg. Calgary winning right now at Edmonton 2-0. They have 3 games left. Key one with the LA Kings, of course, and then Winnipeg with 4 games remaining. So, Jim, there we have it. Yeah, we're scoreboard watching, but let's take care of business here tonight.
Yeah, that'll be the most important thing. But, Patrick, thank you for that. You guys have been doing a great job all the last little while here, keeping us up to date. What's going on with the Kings, but, of course, what's going around the Western Conference.
Kings with it now, and a pass intercepted by the Avalanche and cleared up ahead. Taken there by Tanguay, and his pass tipped down deep into the Kings zone and going forward there behind the net. The Kings pick it up. Doughty was trying to get to it, but he didn't get it. Kings get it up to Dwight King. Dwight King's pass at center ice, broken up. Now Doughty breaks it up for the Kings and sends it back into the Avalanche zone. Landeskog back to get it. Avalanche eliminated earlier today when Winnipeg defeated Vancouver. Puck knocked down by Muzzin at center ice, comes into the Kings zone. Doughty has it, makes a little head fake and gives it now over to Muzzin. Kings have outshot the Avalanche 20-9, and yet the Kings lead by only 1 goal. Slapped in by Muzzin. Around the right side, chased back behind the net. Kings come into the corner, pick it up there, taken by Lewis. He spins, still has it, he shoots, it's blocked. Lewis again to the blue line, shot by McNabb is up high, picked up by Brown. Brown, right side. Brown's pass up the middle. Shot there. Deflected into the corner. Shot by Green. Now the loose puck. Avs have it, but Green holds it right on the line. Keeps it in the zone. Nice play by Green to get there. Now Brown has it. Brown stick handling with it. His pass in deep to Lewis. Lewis into the corner. Still has it. Gets it back to the right point. Taken there by Green to Martinez, or to Brown. Brown spinning, still has it. Brown checked there, but his pass comes down in deep. Back behind the net to Lewis. Lewis gets help from Stoll. Lewis down to the ice. Puck comes into the corner now to Brown. Brown had it roll away, but the Kings will hold it in. McNabb, left point. McNabb sends it right side. A shot from there is up high and off the boards. Kings with it again. Here's Brown. Brown still with it into the slot. Drops it back. The fans applauding now that the Kings won't let the Avalanche play with the puck.
And the Kings make a change otherwise, and the Avs going to do the same thing. The Avalanche had to be dead tired, but because of the physical nature of that shift, it was the same thing for the Kings. All the cycle, all the body contact, and both teams were tired, but it's much better being tired in the other team zone.
Avalanche get it to the King blue line and then down in deep, back behind the net. Quick sends it around the right side. Pass to the blue line, not out yet. Clifford goes for it. Clifford's got it. He got it up to Shore at center ice. Here's Nick Shore. He backhanded ahead, tipped down by Clifford. Clifford down in deep. Avalanche zone. Checked down there by Ginla. Puck taken by the Kings. Shore shoots. Save. Rebound. Clifford couldn't get a good shot. Clifford threw a check and then got the puck back to Reguer at the point. He shoots just wide. Shore reached for it, trying to tip it in. Couldn't do it. Avalanche in their own zone. Kings into forecheck again. Sent down in deep into Clifford. Clifford into the right corner. Clifford checked there, and his pass taken away by the Avalanche. They got a 3-on-2 working up to center ice. Kings in a hurry to get back. Pass on the left side. Martinez throws a check, and the puck taken by the Kings. Reguer.
Great job by Martinez there, Bob, to just delay the play, delay until he gets help.
Here's Gabrick. Shoots. Knocked away by Varlamov. Into the corner along the boards. Kings hold it in, left point. Muzzin to Doughty. He shoots wide, just wide. Puck is picked up by Kopitar. Kopitar still with it all the way to the blue line. Whoa, look out, tipped away, and here's a 2-on-1 for the Avalanche. They got the puck, down the middle goes Teingate. Pass to him is way wide and high.
Went off of Kopitar. Kopitar somehow found a way to get back and help out.
Now Kopitar at the other end of the ice. He's got it in front, he shoots, and a save and a rebound, Gabrick. Gabrick, right side. Gabrick shoots just wide. Rebound along the boards. Kings hold it in again. Get it down toward the corner. And behind the net, Landeskog is all over Kopitar. Now the puck is picked up by Gennon and cleared up to center ice. Kings have it again. Go Kings go, the chant. Another sellout crowd. It'll be the 160th consecutive sellout for the Kings. Doughty back to center ice, snaps it down into the zone. King on the left side. He put it back behind the net. Puck is taken there and picked up by Jan Hejda. Avalanche back up to center ice. Chopped down in deep, back behind the King net. Kings go for it there. McNabb gets checked. He gets knocked down, bowled over, and the puck taken by the Kings. Dwight King now chipped out to center ice. Picked up by Carter, right side. He shoots. Knocked away and back out to center ice.
Jeff Carter gliding is faster than 50% of the players in this league.
Puck taken by the Kings, sent it into the zone. Avalanche back in to get it, though. It's picked up by Tyson Barrie. Now to center, broken up by Martinez. And the puck hops out of play. Wow. 6:50 to go, and it's still just a one-goal lead for the Kings.
On the left, we have Ronda Rousey in attendance here tonight, and I want Patrick O'Neill to stay away from her. That arm bar might come out at any time. And then Drew It's not Drew Doughty, that's Drew Barrymore. So we'd like to thank both of those ladies for coming down tonight and supporting the Los Angeles Kings. Rhonda looks like she's all decked out in the Kings gear.
Yeah. Who's going to take it away from her? Not me.
Not me. What, she win her last one in like 7 seconds? Something like that?
Something like that, or was it 7 or 14 or whatever? Now the play underway again, and the puck at the King blue line, and it is taken by the Kings. Lewis put it back into the King zone, gets it back at center ice, feeds it ahead down the right side into the Avalanche zone, and the Avs back in to pick it up. Pass up the right wing side, taken there by Jordan Caron. Caron checked. Still a battle along the boards as both teams try to dig the puck loose. 6:15 to go in regulation. Kings hold it in to the point, shot by McNabb. Knocked away into the corner. Kings with it again. Picked up there by Lewis. Trevor Lewis spinning, hanging on to the puck. Still has it. To the blue line it goes. McNabb back to Lewis. Lewis holds it in again, sends it down toward the corner. Now Brown comes by to pick it up and tripped, and the puck picked up by the Avalanche and cleared out to center. Play continues.
Once again, the Kings have a whole bunch of possession time. They probably want to get more shots on goal, obviously, in those situations, but I think it's that obvious statement comes out that once again, if you have the puck, it's tough for the other team to score.
Shore along the boards. He gets checked there. Puck is dug out. Taken by O'Reilly. Moves it around the boards to Caron, and it is cleared up in the air and out to center and back into the Kings zone, and Doughty back to pick it up. Doughty sends it over now to Muzzin. Up ahead the left side to Clifford. Clifford just barrels his way across the blue line. Clifford in deep. Send it around to Nolan. Nolan down in the corner. Gives it to Clifford. Clifford still with it. Kyle Clifford to the blue line to Doughty. He shoots. Knocked down left side, held in by Muzzin. Muzzin goes down in deep. He got checked there. Shore got a stick on it, and Muzzin fights his way back to get the puck again. Put it down in the corner, taken by O'Reilly. Shore trying to get there. He gets knocked down into the back of the net by O'Reilly, and the puck cleared to center. Picked up by Doughty. He drives it in, and a save by Varlamov. He's going to keep play going as the teams change on the fly with 4.5 to go in regulation.
And there's still a delayed offside here against the Kings. If that shot by Doughty would have went in, it would not have counted because of the offside position. But the Kings continue to just keep pressuring the Avalanche.
Avs come across the King line. Left side, it's Iginla. He gets checked there. Put it down in the corner to Tyson Barrie. Kings get it back out to center ice.
And Tyson Barrie, Bob, is one of those players you have to keep an eye on in this situation. You're under 5 minutes. Green lights for defenseman. He's very dangerous on the attack.
Now across the line, right side, sent down into the Kings corner. Picked up by Kopitar, and now Barrie puts it back behind the net, but the Kings have it again. Tyson Barrie, 51 points on the year. Only the 4th Colorado defenseman to get 50 points in a season. The others, Sandis Ozolinsh, Rob Blake did it twice. Ray Bourque did it once.
And he's just one of those guys, but he's always looking for it. He's much more mature, of course, than he came in the NHL, but he's very smart, very skilled player. He's quick. He looks like he's gliding. He looks like he's not involved, and all of a sudden, he's on top of the puck.
In the King zone, puck taken by Matt Green. Over now to McNabb. Back to Green. Played it off the boards. Gives it back to McNabb. Up on the left side, out of the reach there of King, and behind the net, cut off by Varlamov. King knocked it down. King had it. Now the Kings try to get possession. They do as Carter slaps it in, and Varlamov covers it for a face-off with 3:04 to go in regulation.
Toyota game analysis, Martinez. Right now he has the difference maker. Colorado, difficult getting shots on goal, only 9. Carter, he's been all over the ice tonight. He has 2 assists. You see the points in the last 6, so the Kings trying to get here. The important thing, 3:04 remaining. There's Ronda Rousey again, Bob. They just made the announcement. It was 14 seconds that you mentioned in her last fight. I'm just trying to challenge her. When she wins a fight in 7 seconds, then I'll be impressed.
All right, I will be too. I'm impressed with 14. The Kings' record for fewest shots allowed in a game is 10. On the 11th of January, 1994 at San Jose. Right now, as Jim said, the Avalanche have only 9. Shot from the blue line by Doughty is wide. Ball to boards. The Kings chase it down again. Put it down in the corner. Here's King. King checked there by O'Reilly. King still with it. Drops it back now to Lewis. Lewis in the corner to the blue line. It got by and out to center and chased down all the way back into the Kings zone as behind the net. Quick moves it off on the right side. It is cleared out to center and chased down now. Here's Carter on the right side. He's got King with him. Carter tried to get it to King. Carter in front. Shoots. Save. Rebound knocked away by Varlamov.
Carter right there with that speed. It just intimidates everyone. A little change on the line there. Lewis was on the line with King and Carter. So getting down to crunch time, Daryl Sutter elects to go with Lewis instead of Toffoli.
Kings in their own zone. Clear it back up to center ice. 2:09 to go in regulation.
Patrick Wahlbaum known for pulling the goalie very early in a situation like this. And Varlamov looks like he wants to come out. Can't now, though.
Well, here's Gaborik with a chance. He scores! Gaborik with a long shot. And the Kings take a 3-1 lead with 1:56 to go in regulation.
I'm going to credit Gaborik for the shot here. I mean, he just rifles it, picks the corner. But I'm wondering about the focus of the goaltender, Varlamov. You see right there, he thought he was going to come out and go to the bench for the extra attacker. Here comes Gaborik. So you see him check his post. He's off the angle. Great look, guys. That's a great look. Again, he's trying to change for the extra attacker, and you saw him look over his shoulder to check his bearings. Where am I? I'm in the right position. He never got back to the right position. How quickly things turn. Didn't seem like much, ended up being a lot. But the top corner pick by Marian Gaborik, Kings lead by 2.
Now the puck back into the Avalanche zone. 26th goal of the year for Gaborik. It came with 1:56 left in regulation. Puck comes back into the Kings zone. The goaltender heading for the bench now. And the net is wide open. Let's see if the Kings can finally get a shot at that empty net. Picked up now by the Avalanche. Nick Holden back in his own zone. Poked out across the blue line. Still a battle at center ice. Puck is taken by Tyson Barrie back in his own zone. Gaborik with his 26th. Kopitar and Regehr get the assist at 18:04. Up to center, taken away by the Kings. They can't get to the loose puck, though. Tyson Barrie has it. Now a pass off on the right side into the Kings zone. Chased down into the corner. Kings trying to get a stick on it there as Stoll backs off. 1 minute to go in the third, and the Kings ahead by 2. O'Reilly in front is shot wide. Rebound tipped along the boards. Kings with it. Cleared to the blue line, not out. Tyson Barrie holds it in. He finds some room. Barrie, his pass in front, then knocked wide to the left side and picked up again by the Avalanche. Back behind the net. Muzzin spins the play around. Muzzin with it. Muzzin's pass intercepted now by Barrie. Barrie shoots, deflected wide. Rebound taken by Tanguay. 28 seconds ago, Tanguay's pass. Barrie holds it in at the blue line. Now right side, here is Landeskog with a drive, deflected in the corner, chopped at there, but held in by McLeod. McLeod for the Avalanche behind the net. Avs still with it. Back along the boards, fans cheering, 10 seconds to go. Shot just wide. The Kings are going to be back in a playoff spot in 4 seconds. The puck cleared the length of the ice. The game is over. The Kings end up with 26 shots, 10 for the Avalanche. That ties the King record for fewest shots allowed in a game, and the Kings win it 3-1. They're back ahead of Winnipeg due to the tiebreaker in the wild card spot.
You know, Bob, I mentioned that and one of the keys was just kind of a control factor. I don't think it was tight, of course, it was close. But I don't think there's any question the Kings controlled the game. It was a King-style game. They get the big 2 points.
So, we'll greet you on Monday night from Vancouver. What a big game that'll be. Prime ticket. Kings live at 6:30 then. For Jim Fox, Bob Miller. Happy Easter, everybody. Let's go out now. Go for the 3 stars, Dave Joseph.
Fans, it's time to announce the Staples 3 stars of the game. Tonight's Staples third star from your Kings with another solid game on the back end and 2 assists. Number 44, Robin Second star from your Kings with a goal, number 27, Alec Martinez. And the Staples first star from your Kings with 2 assists, number 77, Jeff Carter. Now, fans, please turn your attention to the Kings bench as Alec Martinez joins Fox Sports West John Rosen.
Thanks so much. Alec, game-winning goals. You scored on the first one, being able to follow the shot, bury the second one. Talk about that one game winner and what you saw and how you were able to get it past Varlamov.
It was a good play by Kartsy there. He rolled high, so I just tried to read it, go down to the net, look for a rebound, and first one I thought went in, but the ref was shaking his head, so I made sure I put the second one in for good measure.
Well, you look at this Kings team's performance tonight, really good checking against that Avalanche team, limited them to 10 shots. That ties a franchise low for an opponent. What did you guys do well without the puck, or maybe with the puck, to make sure that they didn't get many chances?
First of all, I think we played a good puck possession game. When you have the puck, they don't, so that obviously limits their opportunities to get shots on net. But I thought we did a good job of taking away time and space in the D zone, and they got a really good hockey club, really high-powered offense, and we knew it was going to be a tough task.
Big road trip coming up. Starts Monday in Vancouver, then you go to Edmonton, and then Calgary. What's the excitement level? What's the focus heading into these next 3 games?
Well, we obviously know what's at hand, but I think you just got to take it one game at a time in this league. If you want to be successful, you got to win on the road, and that's what we got to do this week.
Thanks so much, Alec.
Thanks, John.
Patrick, Sean, back to you guys.
All right, JR, Alec, how you doing, Kings fans? Huh? They just win again. This team is remarkable in just how they get the job done at crunch time. What a big 2 points it was.
It was a big 2 points. It was a close game. It was a 2-1 until the Gabbert goal made it 3-1. But like Jim Fox alluded to, I think it was a very Kings-like game. They seemed in control of a lot of it. Obviously, there were times where Colorado put a scare into them when it's only a 1-goal game. But very, very good 60 minutes by the LA Kings tonight.
Number 37, Nick Shore, centered that fourth line. Played a really good game tonight. Will join us when Kings Live comes back right after the break. Another win for the Kings and Jonathan Quick, his 35th W on the season. Stay right there. Kings Live rolls next.